Anthropic just accidentally leaked the entire source code of Claude Code, their $2.5 billion closed-source product, through a Sourcemap file left in an NPM package. 512,000 lines of TypeScript. Every tool, every single feature, including ones nobody was supposed to see yet. Earlier today, March 31st, 2026, a security researcher named Xiaofan Shou discovered that version 2.1.88 of the Anthropic AI Claude Code NPM package contained a 59.8 megabyte JavaScript Sourcemap file. Sourcemaps are debugging artifacts that map minified production code back to the original source. They're meant for internal development. They should never ship to production. But someone at Anthropic forgot to exclude it. Within minutes of the discovery being posted on X, developers around the world were extracting and mirroring the complete source code. GitHub repos started appearing immediately. One mirror by Kuber Wastaken racked up 1,600 stars and 10,900 forks. Another by InstructKR hit 30,000 stars and 40,000 forks. The code was everywhere before Anthropic could react. And remember, Claude Code is closed source. This isn't like finding a bug in an open source project. This is the proprietary source code of a tool generating $2.5 billion in annualized recurring revenue. The crown jewel of Anthropic's developer platform, now readable by anyone with an internet connection. Here's exactly how this happened. Claude Code is built with Bun and bundled into a single CLI.js file for NPM distribution. The problem is that Bun's bundler generates source maps by default. Unless you explicitly configure it to skip source map generation for production builds, it produces a CLI.js map file that contains the full, readable, original TypeScript source. To prevent this, you have two options. Either configure the bundler to disable source maps in production, or add the .map extension to your .np minor file, so NPM strips it during packaging. Anthropic did neither. The result is that when anyone ran npm pack on version 2.1.88, they got a tarball with the complete source map embedded. And source maps aren't obfuscated. They contain the original file paths, the original source code, and the full directory structure. It's literally like shipping your entire src directory to every user. One misconfigured build step, one forgotten line in .np minor. That's all it took to expose 500,000 lines of proprietary code. The leaked codebase reveals Claude Code's complete architecture. It's approximately 1,900 TypeScript files, totaling over 512,000 lines. The tech stack is Bun for the runtime, React with Ink for the terminal UI, and Zod v4 for schema validation. The tool system alone is 29,000 lines of code, with around 40 permission-gated tools handling everything from file operations, to bash execution, to web fetching, to LSP integration. The query engine is 46,000 lines managing LLM API calls, streaming, caching, and orchestration. There's a multi-agent orchestration system that can spawn sub-agents for parallelizable tasks with isolated contexts, what the code refers to as swarms. The IDE bridge system uses JWT authentication for bidirectional communication with VS Code and JetBrains. And there's a persistent memory system using file-based storage for user context and project preferences. Modules are lazy-loaded for OpenTelemetry and gRPC to keep startup time fast. The entire thing is surprisingly well-structured for a tool that's evolved as rapidly as Claude Code has. But the architecture isn't the headline. The unreleased features are. The leak exposed several features that Anthropic clearly wasn't ready to announce. Kairos is an always-on mode for Claude. The code suggests it runs persistently in the background rather than only when you invoke it. UltraPlan is a 30-minute remote planning system, apparently designed for longer-form autonomous work sessions. Coordinator mode enables multi-agent orchestration beyond what's currently available. And then there's Undercover mode, a feature specifically designed to prevent Anthropic employees from accidentally revealing internal information in commits. The code also reveals internal code names for models using animal names, suggesting a whole taxonomy of unreleased model variants. These aren't half-baked prototypes. They're structured, typed, integrated features with full test coverage in the code base. Anthropic has been building a much more ambitious version of Claude Code than what's currently shipped. And then there's Buddy. Yes, Anthropic has been secretly building a Tamagotchi-style virtual pet companion system inside Claude Code. Buddy sits in a speech bubble next to your input box. There are 18 species, including duck, dragon, axolotl, capybara, mushroom, and ghost. There's a full gacha mechanic with rarity tiers from common to a 1% legendary drop rate. Your buddy has cosmetics, hats, shiny variants, and 5 stats: debugging, patience, chaos, wisdom, and snark. The personality is generated deterministically, so your pet is unique to you. This is buried inside a professional $2.5 billion coding tool used by enterprise development teams. The internet's reaction was exactly what you'd expect, a mix of delight and disbelief. Whether Buddy was a hackathon project, a morale feature for the team, or an actual planned feature is unclear, but it's fully implemented in the codebase with proper type definitions and component rendering. Someone at Anthropic spent real engineering time on this. Anthropic confirmed the incident with a statement. Earlier today, a Claude Code release included some internal source code. No sensitive customer data or credentials were involved or exposed. This was a release packaging issue caused by human error, not a security breach. They moved quickly to pull the affected version and publish a clean replacement. But by the time they responded, the source was already mirrored across dozens of GitHub repos, archived on multiple platforms, and analyzed in blog posts and social threads. Repos sharing the code are being taken down with DMCA notices, but as anyone who's followed internet takedowns knows, removing widely mirrored code is essentially impossible. The code is out, it's been read, analyzed, and discussed by thousands of developers. And this reportedly isn't even the first time. Sources suggest a similar packaging error exposed Claude Code source once before. The practical question isn't whether Anthropic can put the code back in the box. They can't. The question is what it means going forward. For the developer community, this leak is genuinely interesting for several reasons. First, the architecture is a masterclass in building a complex CLI tool. React with Ink for terminal rendering, lazy-loaded modules for fast startup, permission-gated tools, JWT-authenticated IDE bridges. If you build developer tools, there's a lot to learn from how Anthropic structured Claude Code. Second, the hidden features give us a roadmap of where Claude Code is heading. Always-on background agents, multi-agent coordination, autonomous planning sessions. These are the capabilities that will define the next generation of AI coding tools. Third, this is a reminder about supply chain security. If Anthropic, a company with billions in revenue and some of the best engineers in the world, can forget to exclude a source map from a production build, anyone can. Check your .np manure files. Audit your build configurations. Don't assume your bundler defaults are production safe. And fourth, there's a Tamagotchi inside Claude Code, which honestly might be the most important takeaway from all of this. That's the full story on the Claude Code source code leak. Subscribe to Prism Labs for more developer news and AI content. See you in the next one.